Welcome back to the Breaker Broz. So tonight we're gonna predict the Bengals versus Seahawks tonight. I guess really what it comes down to, I feel like the Seahawks are like the opposite of the Cardinals, because I feel like the
In what
Cardinals.
way?
Well, because the Seahawks have a horrible pass defense, but they're actually pretty good at stopping the run, and I feel like the Cardinals were like the opposite. Although
Interesting.
we didn't really like take advantage of like their poor run defense as far as like the Cardinals, but overall, I mean, it felt good because the offense looked more like what we're used to. So I think it'd be kind of interesting to see how the Bengals actually perform. I feel like one of these games, Mixon's gonna have like a breakout game where he accumulates a lot of stats.
Are you trolling me?
I'm not trolling. I just believe in him.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Good. You know.
But
You
based
gotta
off
believe
of,
in something.
well, I mean, based off the statistics, it should feel very similar to last week, where
Okay.
maybe Burrow gets around 300 yards. Well, I shouldn't say that because it's not necessarily common. You shouldn't necessarily expect to get 300 yards passing every week, but I don't know. It just felt good last week because things felt more normal. And then I guess Burrow today said that he is feeling, I guess, closer to 100% than he's ever felt, I guess, since
Okay.
since the offseason. So, which kind of showed last week because he had several runs where I was just like, please go down, but he ended up getting either the first down or like away from the sack or whatever. So, what's your feelings about the game?
I don't know. I mean, I've been watching a lot of Marshawn Lynch YouTube, so I think my brain's set to like, peak Seahawks. I still haven't wrapped my idea around like two facts that exist right now. That one, Russell Wilson isn't even a Seahawk anymore, and apparently he's not good anymore. Also, Geno Smith he's good now. Is Geno Smith good?
Yeah, I'd say he's playing pretty good. But actually, Russell Wilson's not really playing that bad this year either. So I saw some weird screenshot, but basically, Russell Wilson has better statistics than Mahomes.
Mahomes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Now
well,
a lot of that could be
maybe
because
they
he's
should
playing in
trade.
garbage time, and he's racking up these yards. But if you look at statistics, which means that Russell Wilson would have better statistics than Burrow as well. But
All right, so I'm gonna fact check you here. I'm looking
sure.
at team defenses. This is passing. I don't know.
Yeah, and we
where the
actually have one of the
ranking-
better pass defenses too.
I don't see why it's in this order.
Are you going by yards? No.
It's in alphabetical order. That's why it's
Okay.
like that. So yards. Why don't we just start yards? Okay. So this is in reverse order. Or no, this is in the way we would expect it. So we see Seahawks 1120 pass yards. So we're kind of middle of the pack.
You got to do it by game though.
What?
Because
per game because of bye week.
Yeah, they just had a bye week.
Oh, okay. There is no by game. There's yards per attempt. That's one way of doing it. Okay. So they're basically the Steelers, which Colts, Jaguars, Cardinals. So slightly better than the Cardinals pass defense. Yards per attempt, but what about TDs? I'm looking for that bird. Where is it? There it is. So their pass defense is actually not bad. It's like good. I mean, let me rephrase
Why
that.
do you go to
Middle of the road.
ESPN? I feel like NFL.com sucks.
Like they don't count touchdowns, right?
Well, no, because I want to see their yards per game.
Oh, there you go. Yards a game. Passing yards a game.
Is this offense or defense?
Offense. Yeah.
There you go. There it is. See?
Interesting. So they give up a lot. So it says that they give up a lot of short passes, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Right, because they don't give up a lot of yards per attempt, but they give up a lot of yards. So it must mean that they don't do well on third down or something.
Yeah, I don't know, but from what I understand, their run defense is actually pretty good too. So.
Well, I'd be worried if we could run the ball. Plays right into our hands, man.
Yeah,
so this is going to be interesting. The Bengals' run defense is not stellar.
It's doo-doo. Yeah, that was my...
Seattle wants to run the ball, though, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, with the way that they're set up, they have a pretty good running back, so I would imagine they're going to try to exploit that. But I feel like our big yards that we gave up is because off of broken plays, and it just comes down to, like, if we can contain, then I don't think we're giving up as many yards, you know? But it just seems like we've gotten beat on, like, some crazy reverses, like
that's
those
like,
one-off
that
places.
Just feels like my lifetime as a Bengals fan. It's like every single weird, like, middle school offensive play that an NFL team feels like trying always works against the Bengals. I mean, let me rephrase that. Not so much lately, but I mean, like in the 90s, man, it was just like a greatest hits of, like, you know, double reverse, halfback passes, you know, it was bad. Because I mean, I always felt like the Bengals used to always, like, over pursue, you know?
Well, like last week, just off the top of my head, there's like 3 plays that really killed us. It was one where Connor got hurt, where somehow he got to the edge, and then he got like those 30 yards and got hurt. And then one was like this, like, reverse that they did. It must have been like a one-off play because, like, no one had contain on it. And, like, as soon as he got outside of it might have been a receiver that did it. But they ran for it like another 30 yards. And then another one was like a broken play. Like, it feels like there's been a handful of plays throughout the year where it's like,
do you know how good what are the Seahawks good this year? What's their record?
They're 3-1, so they're playing pretty good right now. So it should be a good test. I know we're a 3-point favorites, but
which is basically a push, right? Because usually you get like 3.5 points. So they're 3-1.
Yeah, I mean they're a solid team as of right now. I mean, it's still kind of early in the year. I mean, a lot can change. But as of right now, they're playing pretty good ball. So, because I think it's funny, too, because when the Bengals play well and we had a good game, when we finally had a game that looked normal, it seemed like all the haters were like, well, it's against the Cardinals and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, so? Like, that's what we're supposed to do. Like, had we not played well at all, I mean, people have been dogging on us twice as much, you know, because it's like, oh, you got to be by the Cardinals. So it's like, it's just a weird, like, so we did what we were supposed to do.
They have the bye. So they're coming off of a bye into Cincinnati. I feel like the getting the first bye of the season is the worst. Unless like you have like an injury issue. Like, I'm sure the Bengals would have enjoyed a bye to, you know, because some of their best players are hurt. But generally, I don't think a bye does you very good unless you've got significant injury issues.
I did see Geno Smith had like a knee issue. but he did have a full practice today. So I'm not sure like how much that's going to affect him, but apparently he's actually playing pretty good against the blitz. So, but I also feel like
I just can't get over Geno Smith being good. I mean, it's just like I mean,
to be fair, it just seems like
I'm
New
not
York
disputing
Giants has been a dumpster fire since.
Not disputing the fact that Geno Smith was pretty good last year and thus far seems to be pretty good, but like I just can't wrap my brain around like, oh, Geno Smith is good now. So
well, I think the thing is that he's got a good arm.
My perception. Well, yeah, I mean he's NFL quarterback.
So right? I mean, if you get a decent coordinator that can scheme it up a little bit, like you're probably going to get yards. Now, is he going to make the big play when it matters the most? That's to be seen, right? I think that's what really separates.
He's going to make the big play that matters most, and it's going to be he's going to hit
DK Metcalf.
No.
No, mine's clouded.
Their second receiver?
Michael Bolton? Wow.
It's going to hit Jermaine Pratt over the middle. Big play.
Well, that's the thing. Our secondary plays well, apparently against receivers. Like the little breakdown I saw, I guess, by NFL.com or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When the opposing team targets the receivers, the passer rating is like 70%. Where we get killed is the tight end, which actually kind of makes sense. It seems like that's always been your big complaint. Is like, why can't we guard the tight end?
Yeah, I feel like I thought Dax Hill was doing pretty good against it, but
since you said that, whenever because I pay attention to Twitter a lot more, or I guess X, whatever you want to call it. Whenever we do bad, it seems like a lot of people want to use our safeties as a scapegoat. I'm like, are you guys even watching the game? Like, our safeties and DBs are actually doing well. I think what makes it seem worse is that we lose contain and we rely on them a lot to stop like big yardage plays. But in general, like
I feel like the secondary overall is playing really well.
That's what I'm saying. That like Dax Hill, I feel like is balling out, and then I mean, DJ Turner might be the steal of the draft.
I think it's just as simple as like, the stats. Like I feel like the stats show it. It's just that they're not good at stopping the run.
Yeah, I mean that's been our Achilles heel is that, and like I said, I feel like a lot of those big runs or big plays come out of broken plays too. Because like when I think about the Titans, there was that play where like they fumbled in the backfield, and then somehow the running back was still able to pick it up, and he gained like 30 yards after it. I'm like, what? How does that even happen? But those are things I feel like over the course of the year we should be able to correct, right? Like you can't. It's hard to explain, but it feels like
I don't know, man. I feel like because everybody keeps saying they're not tackling well, and
the last couple of games,
it always feels like if you're a bad tackling team, that just sticks for the season.
There was a quarter it felt like last game where I was just like, oh god, it started looking like the Titans again, where people kept on missing tackles and like they weren't wrapping up. But for the most part, last game they were playing pretty good. Seemed like in the first half for sure, or maybe it was the second quarter where they kind of I think it was closer to the third quarter.
But it's just personnel, right? To me, it's like who's playing, right? I mean, if I would expect Miles Murphy to get more snaps towards the end of the season, so maybe that'll help. I don't know, just wishful thinking. I'm worried about it. So I guess like our buddy Gambletron, or my buddy Gambletron, seems to be pretty stable. It's a pretty flat curve. So it seems like the gambling public seems pretty on board with the Bengals winning this game. I mean, I don't have a good feel for it. To me, it just feels like the NFL scheduling thing where the home team has like the clear advantage. Again, I'm ignoring the bye because I want the Bengals to win mostly, right? But it's always tough for like the West Coast teams to come for the 1:00 kickoff against the East Coast time zone. Bengals have been playing good, so I feel like this line matches my sentiment. I feel like the Bengals should win.
Yeah, I mean, my big thing is like try not to give those big plays and really focus on contain. And then we seem to be a pretty for this year. It feels like we're blitzing a lot more, and I feel like we should not take that approach in this game because I feel like Trey Hendrickson is playing really well, anyways.
Yeah.
So like I would drop an extra person in coverage more than what we normally do, and then I feel like we could probably get more turnovers that way, and really make Geno Smith try to beat us with those like big throws. And I feel like if we can just get a little bit of pressure with just the 4-man rush, then like I do expect like a few turnovers, kind of like what we had.
I don't know much about the Seahawks team, but
Well, I know the big
I
fear
feel like-
was because a few weeks ago they had like 11 sacks, and like that's when we came off that Tennessee game, so like everyone was like, oh no. But I think after this most recent game, people are a little bit more confident in what we can do. But I mean, the last couple of games we did give up 3 sacks. I think I want to say the league average is about 3 sacks a game. I don't know. I feel like overall, like the league in general, there seems to be a lot of sacks this year and a lot of turnovers on top of it. So I think the NFL defense is finally like caught up with like the high powered offenses and some of the new rules, but I feel like bigger players are being made on the defense overall, especially with the sacks. It just seems like, I mean, there's certain teams that are giving up like 5 sacks a game, which is like crazy. 5 or 6 sacks a game. I think the Giants. So I think that's also kind of like what happened with the Seahawks is that they played against a really poor pass protecting team because it was the Giants that gave up the 11 sacks. Like, that's crazy to even think about that. Like, 11 sacks? That's.
Team statistics.
I mean, they have to have quite a few. Because like, you get 11 in one game. I feel like that might be more than some teams. Well, maybe not now through week 5, but I guess when it occurred.
Mm-hmm. There you go, sacks. So their opponents have had 16 sacks. Am I reading that right? And they have 7?
I feel like that's opposite because that wouldn't make any sense. Because they literally had 11 in 1 week, so it would have to be more than 7.
So they have 16?
I think so. Like their opponents have given up 16 sacks.
Yeah, and then they've given up 7. Because what I was going to say is that I feel like traditionally their offensive line has always been
decent or bad.
Mm-hmm. Like they tend to draft.
Well,
really
Trey
late.
Hendrickson is having like a career year so far. Like his, well, he's already got 6 sacks, and like his win rate, I think it's top 10.
Dollar bills, y'all.
I think technically
Every time
it's
he gets
6.
money, he starts getting sacks.
I don't know. The Bengals knew something was up in the preseason because it kind of came out of nowhere. Like they just extended him 1 more year. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if because Joe Burrow has the same agent as Bosa, I wonder if they kind of like, hey, we're gonna reset the market for defensive ends. You may want to re-sign this guy, like type of deal. You know what I mean? Because like they re-signed him right before Bosa got his deal.
Yeah.
Which was kind of out of nowhere because like they technically gave him a raise, and it's just like what?
Yeah. Well, I like the conspiracy theory angle. So.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me.
Let's go with it. Let's go with it. Makes sense,
think about it because like if you just look at the timeline, he randomly got signed an additional year, and then I want to say like either a few days or maybe a week after that, Bosa signed his record-breaking deal.
Wouldn't that be bad for the agent to tell him that?
Well, that's how it works. Okay. That's how you develop
Trey
relationships.
Hendrickson's agent. Not the same.
Bosa and Burrow has the same agent. That's what I'm saying. Like they were negotiating with Burrow's contract, and maybe they got a heads up with like, "Hey, we're about to reset the defensive end market.
Mm-hmm.
Sign this guy." You know what I mean? I mean, it makes sense to me. Like they had the foresight to do it because like they signed him.
I'm convinced. You've convinced me. All right. So let's look at the odds. Okay. Bengals favored by 3. Over under is 45.
45 seems kind of low.
Doesn't seem different than any other time.
Yeah,
Okay.
it seems to be pretty steady, but I'm just saying, like, for this game. But I guess, well, we have a pretty decent pass defense. They're
Mhm.
the ones that has the worst, but we don't really have that great of a run defense. So I guess it kind of makes sense, but does it show you like league average for total points, or is it just always do it by game?
Does it by game, but we can kind of look at all the games at the same time.
Okay.
Kind of get a sense.
Okay. Actually, 45 is kind of high looking at it.
Yeah, because this is low, right?
Yeah, 37. Well, 40. Okay. Yeah, I mean, looking at it, that's actually, I guess, on the higher end. Okay. Then that makes sense.
Whoa, look how high that one is. That seems crazy high.
Cowboys and Chargers.
Yeah, because the Cowboys' defense is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part.
I mean, 50 points, that's a lot of points.
Yeah. But maybe both teams are just, they always average like in the 20s. I could see that. Well, I know Dallas didn't really have that great of a game against San Francisco more recently, but.
All right, I'm ready to make my prediction.
All right.
I'm just going to feel it. There you go. 31.
Oh, wow.
25.
Okay. Dang.
Bengals. Feeling it, man. So I got way over and way cover. So, and I feel like I've been wrong every single week on the over under so far.
I feel like you've been closer than me, though. I want to say they're going to get into the 30s as far as like the Bengals, but I don't know. I still feel like it's going to be more of like.
Are you frozen?
No, I'm just thinking.
Seem to be digicling anymore.
I want to say 28-25, but I don't think I can say that, right? Because I got to.
28-25?
28-25, yeah. Bengals.
Why can't you do that?
Because it's a 3-point difference.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay, 28-24 then. There we go.
Okay. Yeah. We don't push. Right?
Yeah.
We make a stand. We are not pushers.
That's actually a fairly okay. The more I look at that, the better. All right, because that's 3 touchdowns and a field goal, and that's just 4 touchdowns for us. So yeah, that's not bad. I naturally I want to create a score that's a little bit more difficult with the 25. What do you call that? What's that? Where the scores are
scoregami.
Yeah,
Scoregami. So we could look up the scoregami.
I feel like 28-24 is probably pretty common.
Scoregami. There it is. All right. What'd you say again? Well, let's look. You wanted to say 28-25.
Yeah.
So we got 28. There are lots of 28s. 25. You're good.
Yeah, see, that's pretty common.
I mean, I guess to be fair, since I'm fact checking you, 31-25.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I might have made a mistake here. So 31. And we go up to 25. Nope.
That clears.
Yeah. Last time it happened was November 1st, 2009. So it's been a while.
Oh, yeah. That's...
And then yours is what, 28, 25. So let's go over here.
2009 seems like a long time.
Oh, dude. Last time it happened was last November. Bills 28, Lions 25. So my score is gone a longer amount of time. Oh, so this has happened 21 times. So my score has happened, what did I say again? 31, 25?
Yeah.
Bang. So my scores happened 6 times. So
How's
far
that
more
not a
rare.
scoregami?
Scoregami it hasn't happened before.
Ah, okay. I thought it was just rare.
No. Scoregami is the white spots.
I got you. So things that haven't happened.
Yeah. So that's kind of the deal here. So there's some in here.
What's that one?
32-15. Lots of blanks at 32. Really.
I can see that. Because how do you get 32 points?
I don't know. Let's pick one. 32. Last time it happened was last year.
Is that the Chiefs?
32. So they score touchdown. What do you think that was?
Safety. It has to be. Like a
Oh,
touchdown,
here you go.
field goal, and a
Here you go.
safety.
Touchdown, field goal,
It's got to be safety.
field goal, field goal. No. 2 field goals and a mixed extra point.
Ah, okay.
And then field goal. Yeah, everything else was normal. So they missed an extra point. So it should have been 33. That's the thing. I feel like a lot of these like normally unpredictable scores are going away because of the moving the field goal thing back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, did I cover? Or did I get the...
Oh, last week? Yeah,
No,
you got both.
No. I meant like for this week. The over
Yeah,
under.
you got the Bengals covering and the over.
Oh, we both got the over then.
Yeah, we both had the same thing. Bengals covering and the over.
Okay. Huh. I mean,
We are swayed by what we see on the TV.
well, I feel pretty good. I mean, I felt like last week could have been a little bit more lopsided. But at the same time, like, we still beat them by 2 touchdowns. And
Yeah.
and technically,
big score.
It should have been what? Instead of 34, it should have been what? 37? Because Tyler Boyd should have scored that touchdown. Like, that was such a ticky-tack, hands to the face call. So instead of getting the 7, we got the 3. So it's like...
Yeah.
Or I guess 38. We should have had 4 more points. So it's like...
Yeah, that was some BS. But the refs gotta make themselves part of the game. Like I said, like I say all the time, you gotta stop showing the refs on the TV. If you stop showing them on TV, these crap calls are gonna go down a little bit because they're not gonna be incentivized to be on the television, right?
You know what it is? You know what they should do? Did you see what they did for the last... Maybe it was the first overseas game where they did, like, the Toy Story animations?
Yeah.
They should do that with refs. When they put them on the screen, they should just make them look something completely different and just make it totally AI.
Yeah, that would work. Or my pitch is just take it out completely and do like a Madden banner, right? Like it just says the penalty, who it's against, and the yards, if you accept it, it's this, and if you don't accept it, it's that. Boom, instant, right? They could do that. No problem.
I think they like it because it's more dramatic that way. When the
there's just an overall problem where like the same people have been in charge of this stuff for so long that everything is just so stale and dated. This is like watching 90s TV production. It's just they just need to get rid of it. There's no drama. We all see it. We all see what happened. Like the announcers practically say it before the ref gets out there, and you still have to watch them waltz out there.
Yeah,
and
but
kinda,
it's maybe I don't know. I think it's more. It helps the people that are actually at the game. But then when you have the person explain it on the field, I don't know. It adds that presence.
Just put it on the big screen. There's like so many scoreboards in the stadium that if they literally just showed it in a graphic instantly, you would get way more out of it and then be back to watching the game.
I guess that's true because like in high school games, the refs, like you can't hear them make the call, right? Like they don't.
High school was a long time ago.
I know. I mean, I'm trying to think when I was in high school, but no, I don't think. I mean, they tell you what's going on, but they're not like microphoned up to where you can hear it over like the speakers.
Right. You don't need to hear those voices.
They say it on the field where the coaches can hear it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, talk to the coaches as much as you want. But like as a fan, I don't need to see it. I'd rather see a commercial for food, you know? Anything other. I'm just saying, like, there is no single person at an NFL football game that the fans paying to go to the football want to see less than the refs. Every other aspect of the stadium experience is more interesting than an NFL referee. Like, looking at the other fans is more interesting. Like, even seeing the camera guys tooling around with their cameras is way more interesting than the rest because, like, oh, that guy's working, you know? I even rather see the stupid camera truck that pulls up on the goal line and blocks the view than a ref talk for 30 seconds, you know?
Did you see that controversy call with the Chiefs again last week?
No, I didn't see it. What happened?
Well, it was
Did they delete a play? Did the NFL just go in and erase a play?
No, it wasn't. Not like that. It was more or less they initially threw a flag for pass interference, but then they picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
But as the play was like after the play occurred and they threw the flag, the player took off his helmet too.
Yeah.
And then the ref was like, "Hey, put it back on," and then he put it back on without any flag.
Dude, did you see, there was a game that ended where like I want to say TJ Watt got a sack and ripped his helmet off.
Yeah, and he got flagged.
Like, he did?
Yeah, he did. That's the thing that he like technically as soon as you take your helmet off, you should get flagged. It's not like there is no warning. Like you just get flagged.
Can I ask you a serious question? Can I ask you a serious question though?
Sure.
For why?
I think it's a safety thing.
How's it a safety thing?
Well, I mean, there could be instances where you may think the play is over with and people are still running around. I don't know. I just think if you're on the field, then it kind of makes sense that you have a helmet on. I mean, I get where you're going with that, but I'm sure they have a somewhat of a valid reason for that one.
Safety. Okay.
I mean, that's the only logical reason why you can enforce that, right? Is because of safety.
I don't know. I still feel like the Browns got screwed when that guy blocked that field goal and ripped his helmet off.
Did he get flagged?
Yeah, and they lost the game.
Oh, yeah.
It was like 10, 20 years ago. But I mean, it's just like, for why?
I'm sure they have like an explanation for it.
Guy blocked the field goal to win an NFL game. I mean,
it's the no fun league. That's the NFL.
Exactly. It's just like, I mean, like the rules that they have too many rules.
Back to that play, it's like it's just a clear bias that they have for the team.
Rules, get rid of half of those rules and just figure out how to call a catch consistently.
I just find it funny because like it always seems to happen with the Chiefs. Like they seem to get a lot of calls the other way, and like Chiefs fans are like swear like we're just hating because we win. That's like, yeah, I'm sure there's an element of that too. Kind of like what the Patriots went with, but or kind of had going with their dynasty, but why is it always happening with the Chiefs and no other team? You know what I mean? Like, they're not the only team that consistently wins, but why is it the Chiefs that seem to get the calls? Like, a lot of those favorite type of calls.
If you have the best quarterback in the NFL, then you get all the calls.
Well, I think it actually has something to do with that too, because like if you think about it, every other commercial it has either Travis Kelce in it or Patrick Mahomes or Andy Reid. Like, they're in so many commercials, like it's starting to annoy me, and I'm like,
you don't like nuggies?
I just like, if I'm watching an NFL game with my favorite team and another team that they're playing, like, I should see their players or our players in a commercial. Like, I'm tired of seeing Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes and like a handful, like, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like it's too much. And like the whole thing with
Jamar Chase got that sleep number stuff.
See, that might be a local commercial though. I don't think I've ever seen him on a commercial here.
It was him and Justin Jefferson. They did a sleep number bed commercial. Oh yeah, you probably get the Dak Prescott version of that commercial.
I don't know. Maybe it could be where I'm at too. I might see some different, but I see a lot of Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. Like, the big one.
I see those too. I mean, it's not gonna stop.
Because it's State Farm, so you're gonna see that a lot. And then
but you got the whole what's her face thing.
With
you know,
what other thing?
The girl that Kelsey's dating.
Oh yeah, Taylor Swift.
That was Kelsey's girl. You know, that singer girl that he likes.
Taylor Swift, the Swifties.
Yeah,
actually, I saw something really comical. There was it was one of those troll accounts or parody accounts, and what they were doing was like, they said it in such a way because Travis Kelce got hurt because his foot got caught in the field turf, and like there's this big movement where they're trying to get field turf out of like the league and make him go like all natural, and like they made this really sarcastic post about like how sad it was, and like he was trying to get all the Swifties to basically petition for grass. I was like, I wouldn't mind that actually. That's one thing I can jump on board for, because I mean, the NFL can afford to have grass fields, but
I like field turf. I've never played football on it, but I think I like it. I think it's cool.
It's easier to maintain, but I do think it causes a lot of more lower like issues. Like,
I like running on it. I like playing on it.
I don't know. I had a better experience with it, so I can see why.
Well, the weird thing is, like, even when we were like on the field in Dallas, just playing catch, like, I was shocked at how uneven it was.
Oh yeah.
You know, like how there's like big like visually it looks level, but then like when you walk on it and run on it, you can feel kind of a lot more unevenness to it. Like,
I'm sure they go
like on like a regular dirt field, right?
Because I think they have to add pellets to it too. So like I think they can make it feel more even, like before the games and stuff.
Right, but it has to be like maintained.
Yeah, but also I remember when before we added the field turf in Cincinnati, like we used to have by far one of the worst fields.
Yeah, the worst field.
Like, people would complain about it all the time, especially the opposing teams. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, like."
Well, because they would play like a bunch of football games on it, like nonstop. Like, if you have a grass field, it's like you basically only use it for games, for NFL games. So like the Bengals stadium, they would play like 3 high school games on it on Friday night, you know, and then try to turn it around for an NFL game 2 days later on a Sunday. It's just like too much wear and tear on a field.
Yeah. So I could kind of see it both ways, but I do feel like there are definitely more lower leg injuries because of the field turf for sure. Because like there's just instances where like your foot gets stuck unnaturally to where like if you're playing on grass, the grass breaks away, and you don't have that weird positioning where your foot doesn't get caught. Like, it's basically how I hyperextended my knee.
I have a strong feeling on it because like I see field turf more from like a baseball perspective. Like
but it's different.
like an amateur baseball perspective, and it's nice because it's like.
But yeah,
You can get
baseball's
both.
different though. That's
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't have a strong feeling on football. You know, it's like, yeah, if the players want grass and they believe that it's safer, then why not? You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I mean, it doesn't impact me watching it one way or the other, right?
right. But I'm sure we would feel a certain way if like one of our favorite players got hurt because of the turf.
Our
Then
favorite player always gets hurt because the GM didn't feel like buying an offensive line for the first 2 years of his career.
well, first year
So, I mean, you know, who cares about field turf and grass? How about get a tackle?
we did.
Yeah, like he's like in his 4th year. They finally decided to go get a tackle.
Our tackles are decent now. Like we have
No, that's what I'm saying though. It's just like our guy's getting hurt.
now we're more worried about the interior line. Like we got to figure out the left guard situation.
Yeah, Mr. Revolving Door. Good lord.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely one of the bigger defenders of Olsen, but it's just like at this point it's like really hard.
Well, it's the worst part is like if you read like his draft scouting report and then you watch like film of his bad plays, it's like you can see visually what the scouts were saying, and that's really scary for someone in their 3rd or 4th year, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I I know it's not really common for us to trade for someone before the trade deadline, but I feel like we're kind of set up to do that.
Well, I just don't believe that the backups aren't better. I just feel like the
Oh
coaches
yeah.
just I just feel like the coaches just like him because he's probably like a really hard worker and a good
Yeah, I'm sure
teammate.
he's a great
He probably
person.
is
Like
good. He's probably good at everything about being an NFL left guard other than the part about blocking. Aside from blocking, he's probably like the world's best NFL offensive lineman.
I mean,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
if you listen to his teammates, like he seems to be really liked, especially like
Yeah.
Orlando Brown Jr. seemed to really like him, and then I feel like there was a few other players like, oh yeah,
Like Joe Mixon at the beginning of the season was saying like how he's like a future Hall of Famer. I'm like, what? I was like, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought the guy sucked.
to be fair, I feel like a lot of his mistakes are more mental because it's just like him simply not being in the right spot and like.
But who gives it? I mean, it's like his 4th year.
No,
He's
no,
playing guard.
no. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. I'm just saying, but it's like it's not because he's like physically getting beat. It's just like he's mentally getting beat. Like he's blocking
he's
something that's
getting
already
beat
being blocked, and then he lets the person run by, and it's like, what the
Well,
fuck?
I mean, like on that first drive 2 weeks ago, when they ran it on 3rd down, that should have been a touchdown. But Volson did not block his man at all, and that guy tackled Mixon, and they were playing against like a 3 or 4 man front, and there was nobody between Mixon and the end zone except for the guy that ran past Volson. Now, I don't know the blocking scheme. I don't know if he was supposed to block the guy or not, but there was nobody else there for him to even touch. So, I mean, maybe the coaches drew it up where he was supposed to stand as vertical as possible and lean to the right to let the defensive tackle run past him. Maybe that's how they drew it up. And I'm just a dummy. But I feel like if it were me, I might have tried to push him a little bit. But that's just me. I've never played left guard in the NFL, so I don't know. But and then you read like his college scouting report, and they're like, "Oh, he's weak at the point of attack. Sometimes blocks too upright." It's just like, yeah, exactly, just like that.
Wasn't he a
That's what
tackle
he did
though
in
in
college.
college?
Yeah, but he played Nodak State, so D2.
Yeah, because
I don't know.
he's kind of like a taller guard. I feel
But
like
North
because he's
Dakota
got
State
a
didn't
height of
didn't
or like
play during
a stature
COVID.
of a tackle rather than a guard.
But they didn't play during the COVID year.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely one of those things where I'm sure they're gonna look at it in the off season, and it may be one of those things
Yeah,
where
that's
we
my
could probably.
biggest complaint. It's just like, don't wait till the off season. Fix it now.
They could. We just don't know what opportunities could be out there. You know, like if there's a right trade partner, then I'm sure they're gonna.
There's an opportunity. This is, I hate saying good things about the Steelers, but this is like the one thing that they would do, right? They don't ignore problems. They would just be like, this guy sucks.
I don't
So
know.
you're done.
The Steelers had some pretty suspect line play. I mean, even now their offensive line isn't that great. But before, like the couple of years, man, they were just really bad. Their offensive line. So I don't know. I mean, I do believe the coaches know more than us, and they see a lot of things in practice. It just hasn't necessarily translated in actual game
but
film.
I feel like they're blinded by the fact that he must be like the world's best practice player. But at some point in time, it's just like it doesn't matter what you do in practice. Like some people just don't play good in games,
But I mean, you're right. I wouldn't mind seeing like maybe Cody Ford at guard or whoever technically is his backup. But something, you just want to see like, okay, well, if you put someone in different, would the results be different? Or maybe like you would have to think they probably will be because like some of his grades are so low.
That's the thing though. It's like it's guard though. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's the position where if you needed to split snaps to see something, you could. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like should be relatively easier to replace a guard than a tackle, because like.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like even last year, I feel like Sharping played better than what we're seeing out of Olsen,
Yeah.
Like they don't need a world beater. They just need someone who is like viable.
Close to average as you can get. Like,
yeah, we need a replacement level dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Between tight end, left guard, maybe even like defensive tackle to a certain extent, I think those are all tradable positions. But they also sound like the Bengals sound like they're pretty set with the roster the way it is. So.
Yeah.
But to be fair, from Burrow's rookie season to now, the offensive line is way better. Like I can't even believe some of the starters we had his rookie year. It was just like crazy to even think about.
Yeah, well, he lost almost all that season though because of it. I mean, at some point in time,
it sucks. But if had that not happened, we wouldn't have Chase. So it's like, yeah. It sucks that it happened for sure. You never want to go through that, but he did recover and played even better the year afterwards and following. Plus, we got Chase out of it, so it's like that's the thing about his rookie year. Like, had he finished out the year, we probably would have been closer to 500, and we wouldn't have been close to getting Chase. So it's like, from that perspective, it's like it seemed like it happened for a reason, And I could,
from the perspective of someone who didn't have his knee shredded and have to have surgery.
I don't know. It was devastating because, like, even from his rookie season, like, you could see the signs that it was like, okay, this guy's gonna be like a pretty good player. And like when it happened, I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, he's not gonna come back the same. Like, but he came back even better. That's the crazy part.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, I don't know. Like, we definitely dodged a bullet there, the Bengals, but we also got Jamar Chase. So, could have been worse.
Yeah, you're making me feel sad.
About what?
I don't know. I don't like talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just saying, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, could you imagine this team without Chase right now?
Yeah.
Really? Oh man, I feel like this team would be a lot different feeling without Chase.
Yeah, they wouldn't be as good. But I can imagine it.
Oh, well, I meant like
I have the mental acuity to imagine such a situation.
Right. No, I mean you could definitely imagine it, but I'm just saying like we would be not where we're at right now without Chase for sure.
Correct. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Chase is plays like a Hall of Famer, and Burrow plays like a Hall of Famer. So if you want to win stuff, you want to have as many of those type of guys on the field at the same time.
Well, I mean,
You
I
know?
feel like this last game kind of shows you, like, as long as you have, like, Chase and Burrow, like, you can kind of manipulate whatever you need to do. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Trenton Irwin, but we made Trenton Irwin look good. Like,
Hey, Trent Irwin's always open. Don't you talk bad about Mr. 7 yards, okay?
he's the possession receiver. So it's like,
He's the Ben Jarvis Green Ellis of wide receivers.
that's
You need 10 yards, he's gonna get you 7. You need 6 yards, he'll get you 7.
there you go. Yeah, I mean, I like that. No, I like Irwin, but it's just like,
You still have that Green Ellis jersey?
I feel like I should, but then I can't
Yeah.
remember. I can't remember the last time I've seen it. I'll have to double check. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll check after this whenever we're done.
Yeah.
But is there anything you want to add to this week, or?
No. Just looking forward to hopefully another win. Get back to 3-3.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just try not to give up those big plays that we always seem to give up, and really just comes down to containing with our run defense, because it's like
You know what? I don't think it does. To me, it's just like keep throwing it to Jamar Chase, because I want to see the Bengals outscore somebody. Like, the defense is good, but to me, this team is not going to be what it can be until the offense can just flat out outscore somebody.
Well,
Like, I wanna see
it's
them win a
week
shootout.
5, or we're going into week 6. So I think they've pretty much seen all the different, or the majority of the different combinations that you're going to see in different like
Mhm.
coverages and stuff. Because I think the thing that got to us the most with Tennessee is that they dropped their coverage a little bit, and it forced Burrow to hold on to the ball a little bit longer, and that was just enough for their pressure to get to him.
Mhm.
But even now, like, I think if you played with the way Burrow is now versus like how they were playing, he would beat some of those rushes with him with his scramble ability. So like we're missing that. So I don't know. We play a lot different when he can extend plays. Like it makes us that much more
No, I mean,
effective,
but
because those 2 touchdowns that we had in the end zone.
That's how Mahomes beat the Bengals, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just like
he
those
got 5 yards scrambling, and then the refs gave him another 20 yards. Then they win.
Well, it's just when you add that extra half a second or second to be able to hold on the ball to where this receiver can get open, because like those 2 touchdowns towards the end of the back of the end zones were just like beautiful.
Yeah, those are beautiful, but I think that simply being able to extend a drive where otherwise you would have had to punt on like a 3rd and 6. If your quarterback gets you a first down when everything's covered up, and then you get another first down, it's sort of like to me, it's like in baseball when like a pitcher throws a good pitch and you have 2 strikes and you foul it off, right? It's harder on the defense, right? It's harder on the pitcher because they know they threw a good pitch and you wasted it. Now they got to do it again.
Well, speaking of that, like we did a lot of wide receiver screens too when the defense was playing back, and it's like we were just taking the 5-7 yards. I mean, it's coming. This is perfect, because this is a perfect counter to like, because we're setting up those deep passes, because like it's gonna get to the point where like defenses are not gonna like us nickeling and diming them, getting those like 6 or 7 yards all the time.
Yeah.
Then as soon as they play up, boom, that's how you hit Chase for 63 yards over the top.
Yeah. Because it gets me going like a good shovel pass to a tight end, man. I want to see that in the offense.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing like Irv Smith have a breakout game, because I feel like,
or maybe catch a ball.
Well, I will say this though, every time I did pay attention to him, like he seemed like he was blocking well at the very least.
Irv Smith or Jamar Chase?
More per catch?
Yeah.
For sure, Jamar Chase. I'm pretty sure Irv Smith is getting league minimum, so he's not getting.
How many catches does he have this year?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess he's only got Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I don't think he's got 2 catches. He might have 2 or 3 catches that I can physically remember.
I can't think of a single one.
Like his biggest play last week was that he caused a passer interference, but that's when we turned it over on downs at the goal line. But then we got that pick 6. It was like the craziest 8 consecutive plays.
Yeah.
All right. I guess one more thing before we go is I wouldn't mind seeing them use Sample as like Hewitt a little bit more. Like when you get those goal line plays, line Hewitt and the running back.
Sample.
Or I'm sorry. Sample and the running back, like on the opposite side of each other of the quarterback, and let him be like the lead blocker. Because it's just like, anytime we get into those obvious short yardage downs where we're going to run, like the defense always seems to get through our offensive line. He's always.
Well, speaking of, did you see that because Bryce Young is so small that the Carolina Panthers bring in Andy Dalton when it's like 4th and 1 and they want to run a QB sneak? They literally trot off Bryce Young, and then Andy Dalton comes trotting in, and they just sneak it.
Why wouldn't they just give the ball to the running back at that point? Can't you just like
I
direct
don't know.
snap it to
I
the
like
running back?
it. I like
Actually,
it,
I was
man.
thinking about that too. We should do that. Like, instead of having that whole like silly thing of handing the ball off, why can't we just direct snap it to Mixon if we're just going to do it short? Because I feel like that in itself would get him to the line of scrimmage a lot sooner.
I don't know, man. I think that would work.
Because it's like, I feel like we must be it's like it happens a lot. Like when it's an obvious short yardage conversion and like they know we're going to run it, they always seem to get it in the backfield. It's so weird. Because like, if you think about that goal line stand that they had, like
they do it from the shotgun though, right?
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
So I mean, it's slower.
Maybe this will be the week where he's going to be snapping. Like Burrow traditionally doesn't do a lot of under the center, but there's always like a handful of plays where he will. But since he's been hurt, it's been 100% shotgun for the most part. But maybe now that he's a little bit more healthy, he might do a little bit more out of center. But who knows? I guess it's maybe not as important what it used to be back in the day.
It's important.
Yeah. You got to throw off the defense one way or another.
First downs. You got to get touchdowns.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole goal line stand, like he was getting hit like right as soon as he was getting on the line. Like there was just no pushing the defense back. And I don't know. Yeah. I'm still convinced he had a touchdown. I know they kept on showing a replay. Like they showed the one angle where you couldn't even see where the line was, but on the other side, it looked like he made it.
I didn't think he got it. I just, just mediocrity at the tailback position. What do you want? Bijan was scored.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. But you act like Bijan never gets hit in the backfield, though. Or like
what?
he...
No, you're completely misrepresenting what I'm saying. Right?
Well, you make it seem like it's a guarantee that he's going to make it past the line of scrimmage.
Well, I just said he would score on that because they ran it 4 times in a row.
Right.
Yeah, Bijan was scored.
Yeah, I don't know.
But my biggest complaint is just no explosive plays, no big hitters.
I think maybe he would have scored on the fact that he's got more speed to bounce on the outside. But if he's going straight up the line, I don't think anyone's scoring with the way we were
pass blocking or run blocking. He's more elusive. So those 2 things he would have scored.
Right. But that would not be between the tackles. Like,
yeah. So what? Just put it in the end zone.
Right. But I'm just saying, like,
I mean, to me, if you're a NFL tailback and they hand it to you 4 times in a row on goal to go, you got to score. If you don't score, then you're just not very good.
I don't think you could say that off of one series. But again, he was getting hit like as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage. Like there was no pushback.
Yeah.
And the one he clearly trucked the guy, but it's like he's knocking the one guy over, but then there's like two other people taking him down. Like you're
I mean, I get all that, but I mean, get that yard.
Well, hopefully he has a breakout game. He's gonna have one of his games where it's gonna be like, yep.
I know, but we're gonna have to start like a Joe Mixon breakout game pool or something.
I think it could be this week because it's like
you should have to be punished for your faith in Joe Mixon.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm willing to put it on the line. Like I just feel like I think it has more to do with our run blocking than his actual ability. Is he the fastest running back in the league? No. Is he as top in speed as he used to have? No. But I don't think
the run blocking is good. But offensive linemen are expensive. Tailbacks are readily available. You know?
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll end it on that. We've been going for an hour. This has been a pretty long stream, but we'll see.
Let's go.
We got this. All right. Peace.